Three. And welcome to the Cardinals Nest. This is the show where we interview coaches and athletes from St. Mary's University and get caught up on their programs. Today, our focus eventually will be on women's hockey. We've got Sarah Murray, the head coach, joining us on the program. But Donny Nadeau, who is my co-host, Donny is the sports information director. We have someone else on the call right now, and that's men's hockey head coach Ryan Egan. Now, we've already interviewed Ryan as kind of a season preview. So, Donny, why don't you tell us why Ryan's breaking into this call today?
Yeah, Ryan, you are kind of, you're kind of ruining our mood here. But, I got to say, I know you got some outstanding news today, and you were able to tell your players that we have a very generous benefactor, anonymous benefactor family who has donated $250,000 to your program with a promise of $750,000 more. What an awesome gift, and what an awesome thing it must have been for you to be able to tell your players about.
Yeah, it's a great day for Cardinal hockey as a whole. I'm super excited. The guys are thrilled. I think they're still digesting the news and what it all really means for them moving forward. But a lot of excitement here today, and just excited to be able to share it and get some excitement and increase the enthusiasm through the times that we're dealing with right now.
Yeah, it had to be kind of a really nice thing, huh, Ryan, to stand at center ice with your players and in a time of COVID and pods and scooting in and out of locker rooms, to be able to bring some good news, something that's really going to be beneficial to your program, to the women's hockey program. It just had to be really a great day in what's otherwise been kind of a chaotic time.
No, absolutely. And it absolutely was fantastic. It's just exciting in general. I think, like you said, with what's been going on and the guys, it's just going to give us a nice boost here for the remainder of this year. And I think it'll give our group something to look forward to going into next year. And I think it's also just something that's going to really help take both programs and give us a jump start into the future. Really, this is going to have an effect on many things, including recruiting. So just really excited for our group, for our programs, and excited about how this is all going to work moving forward.
And Sarah, how did the players react for you when you told your players out of practice tonight that this gift was made?
Yeah, it's exactly what you were saying. Like every time we talk to the players, it's, oh, this game's getting rescheduled, or, this kind of news. Usually it's not something as good as an anonymous donation of this amount. So the girls were very excited. And also the improvements that are happening to the rink are not something that, players in 5 years are going to get. It's something that our players are going to get now, and then something that's going to help us with recruiting. And it's, the team now is going to benefit. The future teams are going to benefit. They were very excited to get some good news.
Well, Ryan, I know that you got practice plans to get ready for and a week of practice. So we're going to let you scoot out of here and maybe do a little more celebrating with your team on this outstanding news. And we'll keep Sarah here and kind of grill her a little bit. But again, congratulations, Ryan. Outstanding day for Cardinal hockey, and couldn't be more excited for you, Sarah, and both your programs.
No, that sounds great. I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for the time. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thanks, Ryan. All right. So, it's rare here on the Cardinals Nest that we start with breaking news, but we definitely needed to do that with this anonymous donation. So certainly great news there. And, Sarah, with the women's program sharing the same facility as the men's program, of course, you just stand to benefit as part of that donation too.
Yeah, exactly. No, we're very excited. The changes to the rink benefit all of us.
Yeah.
And as a Dean, as an alum of St. Mary's, and as a hockey alum, I mean, to think that there's a family out there who wants to anonymously give a gift like this is just, it really does. It speaks a lot to St. Mary's. It speaks a lot to our hockey programs, and just myself being a hockey alum, this is wonderful news and really exciting. And I was glad that I got to be a part of sharing that news with the programs, and am really excited to see how this carries through moving forward from this year on, moving on.
All right. So Sarah, it's been a long time to get to this point of the season for you. You're a few games in now, but I have to believe it's felt like forever to get to this stage. Kind of talk about what it's been like for you as a head coach in your second year now with St. Mary's to get your program to the point now where you are playing games on weekends, weekdays, all over the place. I'm sure you don't care what day you're playing as long as you get some competitions in.
Yeah, exactly. Before the first game against Scholastica, we had kind of a quick meeting with the team and we were like, okay, after, a month of pod practices, then 2 months off, and then we come back and we have 10 practices, you guys are going to play your first game. So we kind of just adopted the mentality of doing your best, controlling the things that you can control. Like our freshmen were very overwhelmed the first week back from winter break because it was the first time that we had practiced as a team. And so they got basically a crash course in every system in the matter of 6 days. And they were like, Coach, we're very overwhelmed and this is not normal. Like usually we spend a week on one concept and we move on and build onto it. And so they're just getting, I told them, if you're not feeling overwhelmed, then there's something wrong. So we as coaches also have been feeling a little bit overwhelmed, but we're doing our best with the time that we have. Over the break, the 2-month break, we did a book club. The girls read The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. And basically it's talking about turning setbacks into advantages. So obstacles that are getting in our way, like schedules changing, all the different things that they've encountered. We've tried to figure out how to flip it and make it an advantage or something that's going to make us stronger. So the girls did a really good job with that. We did small groups every week. We went over the reading for that week. And yeah, I think that really benefited us too.
Sarah, I think you're getting the feeling for what our baseball and softball coaches go through on a daily basis in the springtime, in that rainouts and cancellations and snowouts. You've spent probably more time rearranging games than you have practicing because, with COVID protocols and just rescheduling of games, it's probably a new thing for you because you really usually in a normal year, you don't have to do a whole lot of rescheduling.
No, exactly. With the rink, we don't have rain delays. We don't have weather cancellations or anything like that. It's usually the same temperature in the rink every day. So that's something that we haven't had to encounter. So we've definitely had to talk to our team about being flexible. And their biggest thing was like, are we going to find out 24 hours in advance, or how far in advance are we going to hear about these changes? And we told them kind of, you need to be flexible, but we're going to do our best to give you enough notice about a game change. So far, things have been pretty good, but and all the coaches are being so great. We're all going through this together. And so everyone's being flexible about different dates and, traveling and all of that. I'm really impressed with my coaching group right now.
Sarah, the main point of our interview today, of course, is to talk about this year's team and some of the key players and developments as you've started the season now. And I promise we'll get to that in a little bit. But I do want you to reflect on year one for you as a head college hockey coach. Give us your thoughts looking back now, and how different has it been going into year 2 for your preparations?
Yeah. So it was my first year as a college coach in general. So just all of the things, the recruiting, just how close you get with your athletes and helping with, I feel like more than talking about hockey, 80% of my time I'm talking to the girls or the players about their classes and their families and any sort of crisis that they're going through. And then maybe like 15 to 10% we're talking about hockey. So that was something that was completely new to me, is how strong the relationships are with the athletes and how much time you spend with them. Also recruiting and learning to sell the school. It is a great school, and just learning how to sell it because I wasn't as familiar with it. But yeah, it was a great year. We had a great senior class, great leadership. I wish I would have had them for all 4 of their years, but we had a good freshman class coming in this year. And then we also have a good leadership group. So definitely a lot of learning and growing and asking 800 million questions. I think I was in Donny's office every day asking how I'm supposed to do things. And then just kind of learning as I went.
So I have to ask, since we're talking about last year, did you get a letter grade from your father on year 1 at St. Mary's? I know you do bounce a lot of things off your dad, and so I'm just curious in terms of if he graded you, what would he have given you for a first year grade?
I think that I'm not sure. He's a tough grader, so I don't know if it would have been as high as I would have hoped. I think the win against St. Thomas in playoffs definitely helped boost my grade a little bit, but I don't know. I think he would put me in like the B range because I could always be better.
So, Sarah, transition now into this year. You've gotten a start to the season already. Kind of walk us through the games that you've played so far and some of your early assessments of your team. You had a really exciting game against our very, very strong Hamlin squad, and came away there with a 2-1 loss. But I've got to believe from that contest and your previous ones, you're very happy with the way this team is developing.
Yeah, we lost a lot of talent last year, looking at, Anya Havis and Natalie Ryan and, we lost Moser, Zebro. We've lost, 4 or 5 top scorers from last season. So we really had a lot of openings for people to kind of step up and fill different roles this year. And we are really impressed with how hard the girls are competing. Like just looking at the Hamlin game, last year, the first game they beat us 6-1. The second game we tied 3-3, but they outshot us 65-20. And then this year, if you look at the stats, I think that maybe they outshot us by 5, and it was a 2-1 game. And we pulled the goalie at the end, and it was kind of a nail biter. So we're just impressed with how hard the girls are battling. They haven't had a lot of time to practice together. And so, yeah, just impressed with that compete level.
Well, and the nice thing, and I know you hit it right on the head, that you did lose a lot of firepower from last year. But what has to be comforting is knowing that between the pipes, you've got 2 veterans who are proven to be, top caliber goalies in the MIC, and Ari Ziakas and Jordan Keeley, and Ari has just been lights out this year. You take away a 3-minute span against Hamlin, and she hasn't given up a goal all year. And so, I mean, it's got to be nice as a coach to know that no matter who you're playing, whoever's between the pipes is going to give you a good chance of winning.
Yeah, Ari's been unbelievable for us so far this season. She's definitely bailed us out a couple of times. She ended up getting player of the game. We do, a little stuffed Cardinal for player of the game. She ended up getting the Cardinal after the first game, which she deserved. But yeah, when you have someone that strong, and she plays a very calm, composed game, when you have someone that strong and that calm between the pipes, it lets you play calm in front of her. And as coaches, if somebody falls down in the corner, we're like, oh, Ari's got this. So we aren't worried about it at all. And it's pretty cool to look at just the MIAC standings so far for goaltenders. She's in pretty much the top 3 for save percentage, shots, all of that. So she's doing really well so far this season.
Well, let's flip that then. You lost all that firepower, and it is evident in the 3 games that you've played. And how do you as a coach kind of flip that switch and get that offense kind of geared up and running at a little higher clip than it is right now?
Yeah, we've been switching up lines here and there and trying to find, that perfect spark combination. We had some good chemistry between the lines we had last weekend. So we're going to go with that again this week. But basically, we're just telling the girls, just put pucks on net and have people go to the net. Maybe we're not going to have the prettiest goals this year, but we're going to try to get goals with rebounds and just kind of those ugly, dirty goals. A goal's a goal. It doesn't matter what it looks like.
Well, and you did lose a lot of seniors last year, which means this year's roster does not have many seniors on it. You just have a few seniors on there, and you're really relying on a lot of juniors and underclassmen to kind of fill some of those voids.
Yeah, we only have 3 seniors this year, and they've all kind of voiced that they want to come back next year, which would be great. I know with the MIAC allowing grad level courses, they can take grad level or some sort of certificate and still be eligible to play. So we would really love to have them back and give them more of a normal season. So that's exciting with that. But yeah, we've definitely had to have a lot of other players step up. Freshmen are stepping into really prominent roles. This is one of the first years, I believe, in a very long time that we've never had to scratch anybody. We lost a few players in transition, and just with it being a COVID year, we ended up losing a few that we didn't expect to lose. But it is exciting. Players that, didn't get a ton of ice time last year or in the last 2 years are now having to step up and play pretty significant roles.
It was interesting. You brought up a really good point in that the MIC is letting players come back for another year. They basically get this year they get to play this year and then get one more if they so choose. From a coach standpoint, from a recruiting standpoint, does that affect how you recruit? Because it really is kind of an unknown. All of a sudden, one of those seniors could come to you and say, hey, you know what, I'm coming back next year. Or, hey, you know what, I'm not coming back next year. Does it affect how you recruit in terms of replacing the ones that maybe should or shouldn't be graduating?
Yeah, it's been interesting. We've asked them to declare as early as possible if they're going to come back, because we obviously don't want to carry a really, really large roster. We want to make sure each person on our team has a spot in the locker room. So our ideal number is 26. So right now, Ari has already told us that she's definitely coming back, which we are very excited about. And then Delaney Wolf and Carol Kraska are trying to figure out the logistics. But yeah, it definitely impacts the number of players that you bring in. We were looking at bringing in, 9 or 10 next year, but now we would be looking at the 6 or 7 number. And so we have players who are very interested in coming to St. Mary's, but if our seniors come back, we only have maybe 1 or 2 available spots left for incoming freshmen.
You had made a comment about Ari being your player of the game. I think we also got to give her props. She was the
Yes.
MIAC Athlete of the Week after shutting out Concordia in your conference opener. And then that same day, as we announced that she's the player of the week, then you've got Delaney Wolf, who was a nominee for the Hockey Humanitarian Award. Second time that she's been nominated for that award. Talk a little bit about Delaney, and that's a huge honor to just be nominated for something as prestigious as that.
Yeah, that was a great week for women's hockey to have all of those nominations and those awards coming out. We felt pretty proud of that. Delaney, she was named captain of our team this year. Last year, she was nominated for the Hockey Humanitarian. She's a very unique person, just in terms of how much she cares for her teammates and just other people. She honestly, I don't think she sleeps, because she fits so much into her days that or she has extra hours in her day that none of us have. But she's she's remarkable. She's super selfless. I don't even know how to describe. She's just a different breed.
In a good way.
In a good way, in a very good way.
Sarah, we talked about your freshmen and about recruiting. What did you learn about recruiting? What was more challenging than maybe you thought? Kind of give us your first year coach insight into that whole recruiting process. I know it's a ton of work. You know how much time you coaches put into it, and it's unbelievable, really.
Yeah, I think the first year was just kind of a learning experience of just like pulling an 18-year-old out of the locker room, and what do you say to pique their interest, and building those relationships, and you end up texting, how was your day at school, and connecting with them about games and things. So it was a lot of learning and just how to build those relationships. I think we were a little late to the game starting those, so we had a little trouble with recruiting last year, but we were really happy with the freshman class that we brought in. But yeah, just figuring out how to talk to 18-year-olds and younger, and how to sell the school in a way that appeals to them. But we're definitely getting better. This year has been unique with like watching games online and not being able to do things in person, and that's providing its own set of challenges. But yeah, we're figuring it out and finding a way.
I'm sure it's not easy, that's for sure.
No.
With all the rescheduling, how do you approach the season? How do you talk to your players? Because I know the MIC has announced that there are no MIC playoffs. The NCAA has said there's no Division III hockey championships. So really, you've got an 11-game schedule that focuses on winning the conference, because that's really all you can really focus on, because there is no getting into the tournament some other way. So how do you approach the season from that standpoint, in that, it's 11 games, it's 7 games of conference, and that's it?
Yeah, we just did our best to communicate with the players up front about everything. We were not sugarcoating. We're like, these are the facts. This is what's happening. And we only have a 7-game conference season, so we don't get second chances. When we usually have a double game series against Hamlin and we maybe don't play well on the first night, we get a second shot at them. Whereas this year we get 1 game and that's it. No do-overs. So that's kind of how we're approaching it, kind of 1 game at a time, no second chances. We have to bring our best every time we play. And that's something that we're working on. We've put together some consistent, pretty good periods, but we've had a few lapses here and there, and that's where we get ourselves in trouble. But then we battle our way back, but sometimes it's a little bit too late. So yeah, just taking it 1 game at a time, and there's no do-overs this year.
Did you do anything special for conditioning purposes? You don't have the back-to-back games, but of course, with the longer Christmas layoff, I'm sure conditioning had to be a big thought into the coaching process this year.
Yep, we did. Every week we did a team workout together. They had their own workout programs, but we did one on video just so we all knew that everybody was working out together. And then we kind of delegated. Each class was responsible for one workout a week. So I know one class picked a Zumba class, and I think that was on Instagram. It was pretty funny. But we did at least once a week. We were doing team workouts on video just to make sure we knew the girls were being active. But it's tough. Everybody else is in the same boat as us coming back later. So we're kind of hoping that everyone else is not as conditioned either. But we're just trying to do our best to keep the girls energized, feeling good. Like today, we're going to have a short practice because we have a game tomorrow. We might potentially cancel practice tomorrow. We just want to make sure that they have the best legs, moving forward. We just have to survive for 3 more weeks.
Now, before I ask you my last question, I'm going to allow you to give a shout out to your social media crew, because of all of our team sports right now, your social media crew has just done an absolute phenomenal job. And if people want to follow somebody on Twitter or Instagram, SMU women's hockey is the one to go to.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Jordan Majeski and Delaney Calabrese came to me and asked me if they could run our social media. And I was like, yes, just one less thing for me to do. And they have just been killing it. Like, unbelievable, the stuff that they're coming up with, and stuff that I have no idea even how to do. I just pointed my phone at things and then put it on Instagram, and all the graphics and the videos and, the Instagram takeovers, like they are doing a phenomenal job.
I loved the Valentine's messages. I thought those were particularly good.
Yeah, phenomenal job.
They were waiting. Yeah, they couldn't wait for Valentine's Day. I was really excited for that post. Yeah, they have a whole, Google Doc about when they're posting things. It's very organized. Yeah, when this player is going to do an Instagram takeover, it's far beyond anything I could even possibly comprehend doing. They are doing phenomenal.
Sarah, one of the goals of this show is we want to personalize and humanize our coaches as much as possible. And so we get into some personal questions, and it's obvious from looking at all of our backgrounds that we like to post pictures that we took of places that we have been. So tell us about some of the pictures in your background. And I also know that camping has been a love of yours lately as well. So maybe kind of tell us about your travel interests.
Yeah, for sure. Well, the camping's all thanks to Donny. I asked him, where should I go? And I ended up going to the Tetons because it's his favorite place. So I found a tent in my parents' basement, and then he gave me recommendations on where to go. So he is the inspiration behind all the camping. These pictures are from when I was playing hockey in Switzerland, and I would take trips around on our weekends off. So there's some pictures from Italy and from Greece and different places in Europe. But yeah, this year, with trying to take advantage of the break that we get, we're never going to have a shortened season like this or have time off like this again. So yeah, just been trying to go camping as much as I can. Yeah, it's been.
Have you tried the winter camping yet?
Oh, I tried to go winter camping. It's not for me. I camped in someone's backyard.
Me either.
Yeah, no, I camped in someone's backyard because I knew I probably wouldn't be able to handle it. I got down to, I think it was 14 degrees, and I made it halfway through the night, and then I went inside and did not go back outside.
So, Donny, we've got time for your last question now.
Well, you took it. You stole it.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
Okay, Sarah.
So proof, we don't pre-plan our questions.
That's right.
Proof, this is an organic conversation.
And we may have asked you this last year, but of all of your hockey exploits, which includes coaching in the Olympics and playing Division I, what's your favorite memory? What's your favorite memory of your time in hockey?
That's a tough one. Yeah, because there really hasn't been a moment of my life that I haven't really been involved in hockey. I would say my senior year, after winning the national title, we won it at the University of Minnesota. I remember sitting on the ice with the other seniors after the game, knowing kind of like I didn't want to get off the ice because I knew my college career would be over as soon as I stepped off the ice. And I remember looking up into the stands, and my mom and dad were standing up in the stands going like this. And I just, yeah, without them even telling me, I knew that they were proud of me and the success, and they were proud of my college career. So that would kind of be my moment. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Sarah Murray, our head women's hockey coach. Thanks for being on the Cardinals Nest today. Good luck here the rest of the season.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Sarah.
thank you for having me.
All right, that's going to do it. Thanks for watching the Cardinals Nest.